Hey everyone,
Hey.
welcome. This is I'm David,
Hi, I'm Miles. I'm David's friend.
and we are talking about whatever. It's
This,
the end of the year,
this is New Year's Eve,
New Year's Eve tonight.
2022.
So while we are recording this a few hours before the ball drops, I guess that's how what they say.
Yeah. I think we're about 6 hours away, roughly,
Yep,
Eastern time zone here. So,
I'm pretty excited.
yeah, I went through me and David's old conversations from years past. We seem to spend quite a few New Year's together, turns out.
I know there's a few that we haven't,
Yeah.
but I do think the vast majority of the New Year's since we met, we probably hung out on New Year's Eve.
Yeah. It's fun.
It's fun.
I'm going to make a nice dinner here after this.
Miles loves cooking, and I don't know. I think we need a personal chef because I hate cooking.
Yeah.
So if you can come over and just make all the meals,
I'm excited. We're gonna have like seafood. You guys don't want to hear about that crap.
it's gonna be good. There's some fish. There's some shrimp. Mm-hmm. There's some scallops.
Yep.
Mangoes.
Mangoes.
Asparagus. You can't go wrong.
Asparagus. Also asparagus, pretty good too, for avoiding hangovers.
There we
It's one of
go.
the reasons I got it. I hate being hungover now, man. Hate it. It's the worst.
Just gotta drink some water before bed. That's it. Yeah.
I do that. It doesn't matter.
I don't really get them unless if I mix a lot of drinks, then I'll get a hangover. But if I just drink like just beer, I'll be fine.
I get hungover like crazy. I'm out, and now that I'm on anxiety meds, it's even worse because it takes the anxiety meds like a couple days to start kicking back in because
Yeah.
your body's trying to regenerate.
Do they tell you that you shouldn't drink while you're on those?
Yeah, but you can.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure. Because
If you
So
take
many
if you take like an
people-
Ativan or something, don't drink on that.
what's that?
Ativan, it's like for if you're having a panic attack, you take it.
Oh, okay.
But I've only taken it 4 times in my life, so
When did you? So, what triggers a panic attack for you?
anything.
Like space?
Actually, space I'm getting a little bit better with. It just exists, and
And we're in it.
we're in it. So it's like, what else can I do about it?
But so yeah, we were talking about this earlier. For you, a lot of your anxiety is around like health issues. For me, I've had lifelong social anxiety. So I've taken. Actually, I've never. So when I first was diagnosed, like when I first went to therapy for it, I was on Effexor XR, so I think it's anxiety meds. I was on it for a few weeks. I didn't feel much of a difference. But for me, it was more about like the mindset, and like that's what I learned through therapy. And then I did ayahuasca to try and get rid of it. Mm-hmm. Which is I'm definitely I'm a lot better than what I used to be. But for you have it's health that triggers you, which is weird because Miles, in case you don't know, he's lost a lot of weight. Used to be a much larger man. Not in a good way, but now he's much.
I was
he's
a
much
I was a
healthier.
big fat party animal.
Yes. That's why I became friends.
But my whole life growing up, I was like, I played sports, I played hockey, I was in shape, and then it wasn't until like my early 20s to mid 20s that I really fucking pushed maximum density.
Is that just because of drinking or what?
Yeah, I wasn't doing anything. I was
Yeah.
just drinking and partying all the time with my buddies, and like I wasn't working out at all. No working out, smoking weed, and like eating. And
That's literally me right now.
yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, I something needed to be done. So
Though
and it's nice working out. I like working out.
Yeah, I started working out again last week, and then or a couple weeks ago, and then I got violently ill. I got a stomach flu. It was terrible.
Good way to lose weight quickly.
Yeah, that I did. I lost like 6 pounds in 48 hours, so that was pretty good.
Wow, that's pretty good.
I gained most of it back, but
Yeah.
but that's the one thing that always like gets me to stop working out is either I get really sick or I hurt my back. Those because 10 years ago I began like working out for like I got in really good shape. I
Yeah.
was great, and then I would hurt my back, and then I stopped working out. Like it's once you break the cycle, I find it's super hard to get back into the pattern.
Yeah.
That's always the issue.
If it was easy, everybody would do it. Right?
That's right.
I quite enjoy it. If I don't work out, I get grumpy. Like,
Yeah, I
have
can
to
see
do
that.
it.
Especially like once you get into a habit of something and you don't, you know, address that habit, then definitely I can see getting annoyed by
Yeah.
not working out.
But yeah, if you are on anxiety meds and you do drink, you probably know what I'm talking about with the next couple of days. So I try my best to be prepared for the next day. So I got like Gravol, magnesium, bananas.
Bananas.
I got coconut water for us.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm excited. I'm actually looking forward to drinking that.
Aspirin, all the good things, and just lay down. And I know a lot of people say smoke weed when you're hungover, takes away the nausea.
But you get anxiety,
Yeah, I can't do it.
so it's not going to work. The
anyway.
thing, when I engage in weed smoking while drinking, I find that it nullifies my drunkenness, which is weird. Like it's almost like a negative impact on. It sobers me up,
Yeah.
in a weird way.
Yeah.
So I try not to, especially for New Year's Eve. I want to be, in a good mood. I want to be happy.
Yeah, I'm happy.
I'm 2 beers in right now. I'm pretty happy.
Yep.
So,
I'm on my second beer
I'm
as
looking
well.
forward to counting down the year. What? So, any highlights?
Big year.
Any highlights for you this year?
Let me think.
I'm gonna have a hard time thinking of anything.
It's always the thing, eh? There's a lot happened in 2022. First thing that comes to mind as a news story, in Canada was the Freedom Convoy that took place in, what was it, late January,
Yeah,
early February?
which was almost like this. This always happens. It's like something happens in the U.S. like January 6th, and then like a year later, like it happens here. So it's like the same shit this time.
Yeah, it was like
It
the
was
same, but like a lot
less
wasn't as
yeah,
violent.
Yeah, less of a risk to democracy.
Yeah, it was just a bunch of
But-
fucking yahoos
Yeah,
took over the Ottawa there for a little while.
yeah.
But,
with their massive trucks, just like
No,
sitting
no
outside.
deaths, I don't think. So,
No, I don't think so.
but yeah, that there's a guy actually. I don't know who he is, but he has his house is close to mine, and so I have to go by it every day to get home from work. And he's got a "fuck Trudeau" flag out front of his house, and now he's got one of those.
Look, I'm very critical of Trudeau as well.
As you should be.
But to make that your identity, and clearly anyone that has an F Trudeau flag, that's not because they're critical of him being pro capitalism. Like it's or like he's pro oil company. No, they're critical because they think he's become a dictator and he's the son of Castro.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like,
all these conspiracies.
all because he recommends you wear masks.
they just people just don't like Trudeau, and that's fine. Every leader in the free world
It's of
has
course
haters.
it's fine to have criticisms.
But like when I see those flags, I just immediately think, "Wow, you're a giant piss baby," and you just probably complain about everything.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, it's the idea that like freedoms were taken away because you should have been vaccinated.
He also has one of those flags. He must have got it for Christmas because it's new, but it's like that snake one.
Oh, don't tread on me.
Yeah. And the
That's,
guy's home all the time, every day. It's like you probably don't work.
Yeah. I mean, imagine like you asked for Christmas. Oh, for Christmas, my wife, I would like one of those "Don't tread on me" flags and an F Trudeau flag. Please.
Yeah.
You open it up on Christmas morning. You're so happy.
Yeah.
Put it up.
It's like, oh, yeah. Yes, don't tread on me, you fuckers. Yeah.
No, everyone will know. They cannot tread on me. And the ones that make me laugh the most are like the pickup trucks with like I saw one with like 4 flags.
Yeah.
It was just like 2 giant Canadian flags, like F Trudeau, and like I probably had a "Don't tread on me" flag as well.
This dude, there's a truck that goes there, and it says on the back, "We the Fringe," and it also says, he also has like the Dutch flag for like the Dutch farmers. I don't know what the fuck that's about, but
I don't know enough about that to comment. I don't know.
it's
I'm
funny.
pro farmer, but I'm sure it's
Oh,
not.
yeah.
I'm sure it means more than that.
Anyway, so I guess that and Barbara Walters died yesterday.
She did die. Yeah. She had quite a career.
If you want to be a journalist, that's the career you want to have.
Yeah, I saw actually, maybe we can watch it. I saw an interview she did with Donald Trump back in like the early 90s. I think I retweeted it. Let me see. Or it might have been on my other account.
I like Barbara Walters, how she interviewed everybody, and like anybody in pop culture for the last, I don't even know how many years, 50 years probably, or more. And she didn't even try to like hold back. She was very direct.
So yeah, I hadn't seen this interview before until she died. So I'm gonna zoom out a little bit here.
Sure.
There we go. So let's go down here and let's check this out.
All right.
Well, the new book is entitled Surviving at the Top. There are many people who would say failing at the top.
I hope the general public understands how inherently dishonest the press in this country is.
As a member of the press, let me try to clear up some of the things which you say are untrue. You write in your book, my bankers and I worked out a terrific deal that allows me to come out stronger than ever. I see the deal as a great victory, and eventually the rest of the world will too. Being on the verge of bankruptcy, being bailed out by the banks,
Well, you don't have to say on the
skating
verge of
on thin ice and almost drowning, that's a businessman to be admired?
You say on the verge of bankruptcy, Barbara, and you talk on the verge, and you listen to what people are saying.
I talk to your bankers.
Well, that's fine. And what do they say? I mean, depending on which banker you're talking to,
Several.
what do they say? I'm the only one people write about. I mean, they don't write about other people.
You have a little more debt than most people. You're something like $3 billion
I
in
also
debt.
have a little more assets than most people.
Okay. You have debts to pay back.
Right.
You have huge loans to pay back. You say the country is in a depression. What makes you think that you can pay back those loans? And further, what your bankers have told us is that the only way you even have a chance is by selling that property out there totally, the plaza.
Well, I don't know what the bankers have said. The plaza's a very valuable property. Everybody told me, oh, you paid too much, you paid too much. Now they're all saying what a great deal he made on the plaza.
You yourself said that
It's amazing.
you saw your children maybe once a week. You're having a lot of difficulties with your 12-year-old son, Donnie. You haven't talked to him
Don
since
Jr.
May. Do you believe in fidelity in marriage?
Yes, absolutely, I do.
In the current issue of Vanity Fair, the author Marie Brenner says that you read from Hitler's collected speeches, My New Order, and that these are speeches that you seem to admire. What's your reaction? Do you have this book?
A friend of mine sent me a book, a man who I think is Jewish, although I don't know.
Who I think is Jewish.
That was great.
And as you can see in these tabs, we got some Andy Tate coming up.
Oh gosh.
Just to add something else to
I
this
don't
conversation.
understand how anybody can like Andrew Tate.
We'll get there. But Donald Trump, Barbara Walters, that was a really good interview. So I always, I guess had respect for her. I'm sure there are criticisms, like anybody in media. I'm sure there are proper criticisms. I'm sure she wasn't critical enough of certain issues, or I'm sure she wasn't critical enough of corporations and capitalism and whatever. But largely, the career she lived and the influence she had, especially on women. I watched a clip. She was her last episode of The View. This is probably like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And they brought out it was must have been like 50 different female journalists who were impacted by her in media. So absolutely, like an incredible life to have that kind of impact on people and to really move the culture, move society. There was I've seen other clips where the first time she became a co-anchor on television, she was a co-anchor with a man, obviously, and he apparently hated her, and she was able to survive that, get through that, be stronger because of it, and go on to have an amazing career, outlive whoever the fuck that guy was. No one even knows that guy's name anymore. So great career, great life, and I mean that's, I guess, one way to close out the year.
I agree.
There we go. Any big things happen in your life this year? Just treading along.
Not overly big.
You got a new co-host this year.
I did. I got a new co-host on my radio show, and it's been going great.
Yeah.
Still, really good buds with my old co-host, who we did a show together for 5.5 years. So he might want to start a podcast. We had a little talk.
Maybe we'll have to compete with your podcast. So you'll be on both, and we'll be competing.
I think we're gonna use your platform to promote our podcast.
Oh, you're gonna use me? I see.
But
I'll join you for an episode or two. Don't
it's
worry.
always a little different going from one co-host to the other, but it happens.
Yeah.
It's part of the biz. But yeah, it's we're starting to settle in, and it's going along nicely. I love my new co-host. He's a great
Nice.
guy. One of the best guys I know.
Awesome.
So
I feel like for me, not a lot changed. Like it's just it's the same old shit. Cover the news. My son's a year older. That's nice. He's talking more.
yeah, he's talking more.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's pretty cool.
But
yeah, I know this year's been pretty basic.
yeah, I don't know. We're like in our late 30s. I'll be 40 in 2023. So it's like this is
This is
life.
the last year you have, not 40. Oh shit.
This is life now, man. This is the way life is now. It's just like
I see why you get anxiety.
all the days just blend in together, man.
Yeah, especially when you get into a pattern and it's just like,
Oh yeah,
totally.
totally.
There's here and there's things that are different that happen, but for the most part, we're in our careers, we're settled,
Yeah,
and it's just every day.
yeah. It's just
Just every
it's
day.
just every day. Right?
You clicked a random one, and it happened to actually fit the moment. There we go. I got some other ones here.
They calling me stupid.
They calling me stupid. I don't care for that one.
That makes rational national sense.
I got all the rational nationals. That's Janine Pirro.
When you have rational national priorities.
Priorities.
This is truly mental illness.
Oh,
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Margarine Taylor Grimes.
Margarine. Somebody, who was it? I think it was TYT. They had a video on Marjorie Taylor Greene, and they called her Marge or Margie. I'm using that from now on.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people call her Marge.
I will have that in the title. Marge.
Yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene is probably one of the worst people on earth.
Oh my God. She is absolutely terrible. You know who else is terrible?
Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate. Let's so he's in the news recently.
Right. Oh,
I'm not sure
This is his rap video.
Yeah, have you seen it?
I caught a glimpse of it today.
If there's a copyright issue with this, which is there going to be a copyright issue with it? But if there is, I'll have to cut it out, unfortunately. But I will link to it below in case it is cut out. But so Andrew Tate, of course, is in the news because him and Greta. Sorry, put your beer on here so it's not making noises. Him and so people with headphones on, like, what the fuck? So he randomly tweeted Greta Thunberg, who's the climate activist, of course,
Right.
and about like, oh, look, I have all these cars, and
I have 33 cars.
how many emissions do you think they create, or some shit like that?
Yeah.
And then she replies, like, he asks, like, can I email you? So she replies, sure, you can email me at what was it?
SmallDickEnergy at getalife.com.
SmallDickEnergy@getalife.com. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And then he replied with a video like a day later where honestly I didn't watch the video because I can't stand. He's so.
I watched a little bit of it.
He oozes with like just the most disingenuous. Like he's just so phony and disgusting.
Yeah.
I can't take it.
I watched a little bit of it just because. And it's pure cringe because I love
so
cringe.
he is-
It's
you love
pure-
cringe. I
yeah.
can't stand cringe, so
love
I have
it.
a hard time watching.
I
anything
watched
this guy
it
does.
and just a little bit of it. It's only like 2 minutes long, but like it was cringe. I'm like, who acts like this? Like, you know what I mean? Like an adult grown man.
Yeah.
Sorry, excuse me, acting like this.
No. Yeah. It's he's a
He's
weirdo.
smoking a cigar. He's like telling some woman to bring him some pizza or something like this.
Yeah.
And then he got arrested.
Then he got arrested. So initially, the story was that they were able to find him because of the pizza that he
That
bought.
wasn't true.
But that ends up not being true. Whatever. Regardless, he's arrested. At least he's going to be held for at least 30 days, I believe. On
Sex trafficking?
yeah,
Human
sex
trafficking.
human trafficking charges. So he's a disgusting person. Anyways, I got a couple of clips here. So this one is apparently I learned about he does music or did music. I learned about this during our Leftist Mafia podcast on Thursday. Mike Figueredo brought it up. So let's check this out. I'm going to make sure the audio is boosted enough for the people listening here.
Okay.
reply. I'm the type of guy, bitches on the side. I'ma spend the money, we can spend a little time. All you gotta do is ask me, and I can make you look classy. Second that you walk past me, I turned the whip around, I had to get you in my backseat. They call me Mr. Plenty. Check the leather on the Bentley. Shout your friends will get friendly. Maybe I could be your sugar daddy, yeah. Cause I'm all about the money.
Oh my god.
Sugar daddy, yep. Yeah, I think people that are like really into material things, like I like material things, but I don't have a lot of them, and
Look,
I don't even think I'd spend a lot on them. I feel guilty buying myself things.
So do I.
So
Look,
like,
there's nothing wrong with like treating yourself. The
Yeah.
issue with him is that's his personality, right? Like that's like he derives his self-worth from his possessions.
that's what I was gonna say.
Which
It's like
is-
he thinks like the measure of a man is like all the things that you have.
Yeah.
I think in general, just for any human, it's just like the impact you leave on people that know you.
And the impact he's leaving is on a lot of teenagers. Apparently, are super into watching this dude. Like a lot of young boys.
Yeah.
And they're being influenced to think this is the way you're supposed to live your life.
Right, and it's terrible. But I also think that because we were teen boys at one time, I was like, I thought I was Eminem in high school.
Yeah.
And I turned out fine. If you
In terms of role models, Eminem isn't the worst person to be your role. You know what I mean?
are you listening to
Okay.
that song Kim, where it's just like he's just
of course. No.
like there was lots,
Yes,
and parents were up in arms about Eminem. I'm not defending Andrew Tate at all. I'm just saying that
these boys will grow out of it.
yes, some will,
Yeah.
some won't, and the guys that won't, you're gonna see them out front of Tim Hortons, no job, wearing pajama pants, taking the bus everywhere.
That isn't always true, though. Like, no, honestly, this is what sucks about the world. A lot of sociopathic, terrible people do very well, and it's because they're sociopaths. It's because they don't give a fuck about how they impact other people.
Yeah.
They will do what they can to climb the
Oh, he's a
ladder.
grifter, man. He's a pure
like,
grifter.
yeah, he's a pure, exactly. This one, so you're at this point, I'm sure you're all watching Aaron Brown, as we have recommended him many times.
Aaron Brown's the man.
I am personally responsible for his success. Joking.
I told David about Aaron
Miles.
Brown.
So the first time I ever heard of Aaron Brown was from Miles over a year ago.
Yeah.
And since then I've been tweeting out his
Aaron
channel
Brown,
and shit.
Aaron Brown, if you haven't followed yet, give him a follow. He's great.
But his last video is on Andy Tate, Person of the Year. It's a great title. But he showed. So I watched it. This clip. So this is part of his advice. So part of what Andrew Tate has, he has his Hustler University, where
Right.
you pay him money. And he's got the secrets on how to be successful, not only with money, but with women. So here is part of his advice here.
Okay.
So imagine you work in Starbucks.
Okay.
You work at Starbucks. If a girl says, "What do?" You can say, "I work at Starbucks," or you can say, "I was high level at Starbucks. I was high level management.
Right.
And now they put me in as a mystery worker." I'm making this shit up off the top of my fucking head. I'm telling you what I do if I work at Starbucks. And the girl will be like, "What do you mean?" It's like, "Oh, well, I was high-level management, and what they do is they send me around to different Starbucks stores to just work as a normal person, but what I have to do is report back to the high-level management about how the store is being run.
Right.
The manager's competent, and da-da." All of a sudden, you sound like a fucking spy. You're now James Bond of Starbucks. You were a barista loser.
Amazing,
Now
Andrew.
you're James Bond.
Yeah, so this is his Top G How to Bag Babes course. And he keeps coming back to this over and over, and it's one of the few bits of practical advice of how to get a babe or whatever's going on here. And it's, if you work at Starbucks, don't say you work at Starbucks because that's boring. Say I'm a mystery shopper. Say I'm a mystery shopper at Starbucks, and I go in to the Starbucks to make sure that the Starbucks is working well. So it's great on its own, but remember, he's giving this advice to like the average age is 14-year-old boys. You know, a 14-year-old telling some girl, actually, I'm an undercover coffee taster for Starbucks. Oh, really? Aren't you in like middle school? Yes, but on my days off, which is Saturday and Sunday, then I do the Starbucks thing I was talking about. Anyway.
I'm gonna take my jacket off quickly.
What, Andrew?
Before I take my jacket off, let me just remind you this watch costs $30,000. If that upsets you.
Wow.
God.
I can't.
Okay. So, anyways, Aaron Brown's video is fantastic. But his advice is lie to people that you that you want to be in relationships with? How is that going to work
I
out?
remember when I was 19, I was pumping gas, right?
Yeah.
It was one of my jobs. I was a gas pumper. I remember we were at this video dance or something. It was like drinking, and anyway, you had to pay to get in. And I remember this one girl I was talking to asked me what I did, and I'm a gas pumper, and I'm like, oh, I'm a petroleum distribution engineer. So dumb.
Did that work?
No.
Petroleum distribution. You must have thought of that beforehand, right? It didn't come off the top of your head. Like that was.
No,
like,
I heard it.
If someone
I heard it
asked
from
me,
like some guy that I was like, I think I can't remember exactly, but some dude.
The thing is, like, that's advice that I've heard for resumes as well. It's like, oh, if you were this person, make it sound better than it. To me, it's just showing you're a scumbag. Like, just be people understand. In fact, I would respect you more if I saw on your resume, yeah, I was a cashier. I've worked with like these are important jobs that we need in society that build character. And if anything, I give you more credit for having worked those jobs and being in that position, because those jobs can be very, very tough, very demanding. Like working at McDonald's is a very tough job. So you don't lack the actual job already is a job worthy of respect. Working at Starbucks, a very demanding job, worthy of respect. You're not gonna. I'm a mystery shopper. I go around making sure all the Starbucks are working properly. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, it's so stupid. And if you plan to have any long-term relationship with a person, you're starting off on a complete lie.
I thought you worked for head office and you were a mystery shopper that reported back.
Well, I just told you that because I wanted to sleep with you. So.
Yeah. If you're lying to a girl to get her in bed,
terrible advice. It's terrible.
That's not going to end well. That's not going to end well at all.
No.
I was a cab driver once.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Let's talk about this.
I was a cab driver for 3 months.
Just 3 months? I thought it was longer.
No, man. 2011. 3 months. It was like, I think it was August, September, October. Yeah.
So
yeah, it was roughly right there.
First of all, how does this work? Do you rent the cab? Do you own the cab?
I didn't own the cab. I drove for the cab company.
Okay.
And I drove during the day. I didn't do the night shift because
that would be something.
That is not good.
I mean, the real money's made at night, imagine, right?
Yeah, but I was like not down with. I didn't want a bunch of drunk people in the cab,
okay.
So I just drove like old ladies to get their groceries and stuff.
Oh, that's nice.
But it was the worst job I ever had. One of them for sure. Like cab drivers, man, it's hard. It's hard. So I had to fill up the car at the end of the shift with the money that I made. And then there was like a formula, some mathematical formula.
You get reimbursed though, right?
No. There's a mathematical formula. Yeah, I know. I could work like 12 hours the whole day. It was 12-hour shifts, 6 to 6.
Oh, shit.
And I could come home with like $40 cash.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So like it's a tough go,
so like
man.
you'd make like 80, but the 40 is like for the gas.
Like no, man, like you'd make like $200 or something.
Okay.
Like I remember the girl I was dating at the time. We lived together, and I remember I accidentally hit a taillight out on a car. Yeah.
Like while you were driving?
Yeah, the cab. And
oh shit.
It was a husband and wife, and she's like, Give me your fucking license right now. And I'm like, I'm not giving you my license. I'm like, I hit out your taillight. I was pulling out and I caught the end of their taillight. Anyway, and the husband's like, no, don't worry about that. And then I'm like, I'll give you $100 cash. And he goes, all right, give it to me. So I didn't have $100 cash, and I had to get my ex-girlfriend to come and drive it to me, the money. And she's like, quit this fucking job right now. This job fucking is stupid. Like blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. So then I quit it like a month later. I just stopped going. I didn't even tell them. I was just like, no, I'm not going anymore. If you drive a cab, good on you.
What's the
tough job?
Like, who's the craziest person you had in your cab? Like, was there like an experience where you're like, oh my God, like leave now?
Couple. Okay, so no, I picked a guy from a bar in the middle of the day one day, and he was hammer drunk, and so like I said before, I don't like picking up the drunks, but he was really drunk. It was my last call of the day. I had already cleaned the cab, and I kept an immaculate cab. Like I had that putty that you could like put in all the crevices and get all the stuff out.
I have that shit right here.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
It is fantastic.
Anyway, he gets in with a one lone potato skin. If you don't know what a potato skin is,
Was it like a stuffed potato skin?
it was just a potato skin with like cheese, barbecue
Okay.
sauce, and
It's like in his
bacon
hand.
bits. Yeah.
Okay.
He's like, "Hey, man," and he gets in and he puts it right on the dash, and I'm like, "Oh man, don't put it there." You know, I just cleaned the cab.
He wanted to pay you.
And
with
he's like, nah, it's good. It's fine. And I was like, all right, whatever. Fuck, I don't want to get in an argument with this guy.
that? Yeah.
So I'm driving along, and then I take a corner, and the fucking potato skin rolls along the dash, and like it just I'm like pick up that thing. He's like, oh, okay, bud. Picks it up, and then we get to his destination, and there was like a AC/DC song on the radio, and he didn't. He's like, I don't want to get out yet, and he like turns up the fucking. I'm like, oh man, this is the worst. I hate AC/DC.
You
And-
do?
Yeah, I
Oh,
do.
wow.
And then he's like, yeah, lights up a dart, which is a smoke in Canada, and he lights up a dart. And he's like, nah, nah, nah. I'm like, all right, man, I gotta go. You know, like. So yeah, there was a couple things.
Well, I guess it could have been worse if he like I don't know tried to kill you or something.
There was one lady who would always come up, and I remember one day she limped up to the cab, and I see her all the time in the town that I was driving cab in, and she was like notorious for like trying to bum rides and stuff. She gets in the cab, or she comes out, she's like, sir, I injured myself. I need a ride. And I was like, no. And she's like, well, fuck you then. And I was like, okay, geez. And then another time I actually had to pick her up. It was a call, picked her up, and I recognized her right away. And she gets in, and she's on the phone with somebody, and she's like arguing with them like really bad. And she's like, oh, I'm on the way right now. No. And I'm like, do you have money for the cab? Because like that was one of the conversation was about money. And she's like, I can give you a BlackBerry. And this is,
Oh my god.
and I was like, get out,
Oh my
get out right now. So yeah, I think that was it. But yeah, anyway, that's about all.
That's a crazy. I mean, you've had some wild jobs. That beekeeper in Hawaii. It's a pretty sweet job.
Yeah, I think we've talked about that.
Yeah, I think we
before.
have.
The volcano in Hawaii was pretty crazy this year. Mauna Loa.
Is that the Big Island?
Yeah, I remember if you get off the plane in Kona, is like one of the airports. Mauna Loa is like right there.
Yeah.
You can see it. It's like one of the first things you see because the Hawaii airport's like on the Big Island, and Kona is like outside kind of. It's like all pavilions.
I love Hawaii.
Yeah, you went.
That's where I went. I went to the Big Island.
Yeah.
I went there because I wanted to see what's it called? I think at the top the telescopes.
observatory.
Yeah. But like the main little city in there, and then the strip with the food there is amazing. If you're into seafood,
Oh yeah.
oh my god,
Dude.
there is amazing.
I remember we went swimming one time at this beach, and there was like a kind of like a harbor there as well. And there was one guy who just got back from fishing, and he had like I don't know, some tropical fish, big one, and he was cleaning it on the dock. And I was like, oh wow, what a crazy looking fish. He's like, you want to try some? And so he just cut me off a slab as he was cleaning it, like sushi.
wow.
It
Yeah.
was so good.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, but I gotta go back there.
Me too, man. I always have
We
dreams.
should go back to Hawaii.
I would love to. I always have dreams about going there, but the plane ride is so long. I'm so scared of flying.
It is it's a lot. That's the worst part about going there from the East Coast is just like you got to take at least 2 planes, and they're both super long flights.
Yeah.
But once you're there, it is so worth it.
On my way there, I went from Toronto to Minnesota. Then we got a plane from Minnesota that went right to
To the Big Island.
Honolulu.
Oh, okay.
And then I got a plane on Honolulu to the Big Island.
No, layovers are the worst.
Yeah. Coming home was even worse too.
Yeah, because you're leaving. You're leaving Hawaii.
No, just I was happy to come home.
Were you?
Yeah.
I mean, whatever.
I wasn't there for vacation though.
Yeah, you were working there. It's a little different.
Yeah. Hawaii's crazy though, some parts of it, man. some parts.
So before we end here, we got maybe 5 more minutes. You watched movies this year. Do you have any like top movies of the year?
Yeah.
Like what stands out in your mind?
The Batman.
There you go.
The Batman. Oh, what else? I just watched the new Top Gun. Have you seen it?
I want to see it. I hear it's really good.
It's so good.
I hear
I've
everyone
watched
say
it
it's really
twice.
good.
Yeah, man.
Okay, I gotta watch it.
I was like,
watch it.
I was like, whatever. I didn't like Top Gun 1 really. You know, like it's like whatever.
I forgot what happened in that movie, but yeah.
I just remember like every transition. It seemed like in Top Gun 1, it was like. Ding, 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 ding,
It's very like
ding, ding,
you know
ding.
80s, right?
Super
Like,
80s, and I love 80s. But the new Top Gun movie is so good.
All right, I gotta watch it.
What other movies were really good?
I keep hearing a lot about this movie.
Everything.
That's
All at
exactly.
Once.
Yeah, did you watch that?
That we're not saying it right. Everything, everywhere, all at once.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah, and it's on Prime. I want to watch it. I haven't watched it yet.
Okay.
I said to my girlfriend, I was like, "Hey, do you want to watch this?" She's like, "I'm reading my book." I was like, "Okay."
I will get into that.
And I know she's gonna say that would make her sound bad. I'm not. She loves to read.
Carrie's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was gonna say. So I feel like I'm not good at keeping up with like current movies. I don't watch a lot of movies this year, but TV shows. I do watch TV shows. So one a few stick out, but Succession this season was great this year. I'm looking forward to the next season. Also, House of the Dragon, the new Game of Thrones, like it's like a prequel kind of, very good. And one I just finished watching, I'm blanking on the name now. It's on HBO. It's about
White Lotus.
That's exactly what it is. White Lotus. Have you watched it?
No.
Oh, it's good. So
another show that I really liked this year was The Rehearsal with Nathan Fielder.
The Rehearsal was also fantastic.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say on White Lotus. So I didn't know anything going into it. So at the beginning, I'm like, is something gonna happen here? Because these are just people at a hotel. Like, is anything else happening? But that's the show.
Mm-hmm.
And
Michael Imperioli from Sopranos.
He's in season 2. It's very and what's her name?
Aubrey Plaza.
Also in season 2. You read my mind. How's this happen?
I know about the show. I haven't seen it.
Very good. I recommend it.
Shows. If you haven't seen The Sopranos yet, give it a watch.
So, I guess you watched it this year. That's why it's on your mind.
Oh man, it's so
yeah,
good.
no, it's really good.
Catfish, another good show.
Catfish.
It's where they like people on the
that
internet like fall in love with
that's-
each other,
that's-
but
oh,
then they're
he
like
did
they
the
won't ever meet up, and then they're like, I need help from Neve and Max.
But that's like the real life. Like,
It's a reality show.
But
It's not new.
there was a movie first, wasn't it? You just watched it this year. It's not new.
It's funny.
And video games. I know you don't play a lot of new video games, but oh my god.
All I keep hearing out of this guy is Thor Ragnarok.
Oh my god.
God of War
God of War
God
Ragnarok. Thor's in the game. So there you go. You're not too far off. But and I started playing Elden Ring a few days ago. Holy shit, the game actually is really good. I thought I wouldn't like cuz it's one of those hard games that kick your ass, but no. Very very good.
Yeah.
And oh my god, I don't know. I could spend
Another thing that I really
hours.
another thing that I
about
really enjoyed this year was the James Webb Space Telescope.
Have we not heard new things for a while? I feel like I haven't
There's
seen new
been
pictures.
some new pictures and stuff,
Okay.
but it's quietly, just doing its thing.
Quietly doing its thing. Well, I want to see what it's doing. I want to see those photos. So we did talk a bit about that on past episodes, but yeah, Miles really into space. I'm really into space, but I feel like you know things that I don't know. You keep me up to date on the latest happenings.
Just watch
in
Interstellar. It teaches you basically everything you need to know.
Interstellar, great movie. I feel like a lot of people don't like it as much as we do. Especially, you've watched it a million times.
I don't understand why. It's really good.
Mm-hmm. People treat it like it's one of Nolan's worst films. I don't understand why.
Easily one of his best, if not his absolute best.
Speaking of Oppenheimer.
Right, Oppenheimer.
That's coming up.
That's anticipated.
When's that releasing?
My birthday.
Again?
July 21st.
He releases all these. What was the last? The Dark Knight was on your birthday too.
It was all around. They're all around the same time as my birthday. Like Tenet was like the day before my birthday. Dunkirk, I think, was on my birthday.
That's
like
crazy.
they're all. That's his time. Middle of July.
Nolan does it just for you.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. Anyway, have a Hope you had a nice 2022.
Yep.
And you enjoy 2023, and we'll see what happens.
I hope this year is just nothing bad happens. It's all just positive news this year.
Oh, yeah,
2023, all just good
that's
things.
gonna happen.
Yes. They'll have to shut down the news because like we cover bad stuff. There's no bad stuff to cover anymore. It's all just positive news.
If you watch any newscast, especially like local ones, it's like it's always
they'll
a
find
nice,
something.
a nice feel good story at the end.
At the very
it's
end.
like here's like all like the terribleness.
Here's a house fire that killed 4 people. Here's
Yeah.
a murder. Here's a carjacking. But here's a cat that rides on a scooter.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I did when I was interning. I was doing TV news reporting, and I had to go to a story about a beaver that was caught in a trap, and they saved it.
Oh,
and it ended.
That
the
was a
show.
good news story.
Yeah, and
Wow.
it ended the show.
Speaking of, I worked in news too. CTV News. Here's my old shirt.
Oh yeah,
When they had the Olympics.
Yeah,
That's
baby.
Vancouver.
2010, baby. Don't forget.
That's right. And now 2023.
Wow.
Have a good night, everybody. Enjoy your new year.
Cheers.
Cheers. See ya.